The pharaohs was black. Don't you understand your history? You ain't woke.
Listen up. Y'all don't understand. This land that you stand on, that you think is America, this is actually Africa.
The pharaohs was black, man. The Hamitic people, or the so-called Africans, had the most advanced civilization ever. They had the most technologically advanced civilization that has ever existed. More advanced than the Roman Empire, but yet the white man wants you to think that the Roman Empire was the greatest empire that ever existed, but it wasn't. The reason why they be saying that is to get you to think that you ain't nothing special and that you had no empire. Know your people. Celebrate your people, celebrate your tribe, celebrate your nationality, get yourself woke. You know what I'm saying, man? Moses was black, the Hebrews was black, Jesus was black.
You actually converted to Judaism, right? To Hebrew Israelite?
It's funny when you say I convert into how do you say it? But the word convert, I can't convert to something that I was bloodline that I'm already is.
Muhammad, they be saying that he was an Arab, he was a black man. That's why the great Elijah Muhammad was a Muslim. And Malcolm X had it coming because he walked away from the truth. He got into that whole universal Mecca stuff. But the only true Mecca is the Mecca of the black soul. And the black woman is God because every black man proceeded from the African woman. So the African woman be divine, but they don't want you to think that.
So we can understand where you came from. So our ancestors had no problems understanding that divine principle of that sacred womb where we all came from. That was the basis and foundation of the goddess principle and the matrilineal system in Africa. And our ancestors saw, in order for the king to rule the throne, like you have Ursamat right here, the goddess Shashat. Here you see her in the tree of divine wisdom, giving the fruit of divine knowledge and wisdom in order for him to rule the throne.
And so the true Israelites was black. And the white man and these so-called Jews, they all just Edom, man. They Edomites, man. They just be Edomites. They even who they say they are. They ain't no white people, man. They Edomites. They're all pagans.
Beit Israel is a community originally from the United States with roots in the Black Hebrew Israelites movement. Now based in Israel, the religious group believes Tel Arad to be the true Jerusalem.
These are the people of the book. That's right.
The Israeli government, however, does not recognize Tel Arad as a holy site.
Israel have a law. You see, that indicates that if you have a holy place within the land of Israel, that you should be able to visit there freely, you see, without having to pay entry for it. So because of that, we want what everybody else, what every other community have in Israel. We want our people that's coming from America, our people that live here in Israel, we want to be able to enter into the holy place.
And for millennia, I'm about to say for centuries, forget that, for millennia they've been trying to enslave us and they finally broke us down. And that's why the black man, the so-called African American, must rise up against Babylon.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
And must establish the true kingdom of Zion. That's right. So let's talk about the black Hebrew Israelites, these clowns who dress up in these purple and blue gowns on the streets, and they always have some guy repeating Bible verses and then another guy just repeating the same thing the guy just read.
So read that for me. Deuteronomy 70 verse 6. For thou art an holy people. We are a holy people, meaning a true people. Read on. Unto the Lord thy God. To the Lord. Go ahead. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee. He chose us, the children of Israel. Read on. To be a special people. We are supposed to be a special people. Read. Unto himself. Unto himself. Read on. Above all people. See, we're not supposed to be equal to or below. We are supposed to be above all people. Read on. That are upon the face of the earth. Upon the face. Okay, hold on. I want to ask you a question about that. That's our position.
And these people are agents of chaos, heretics, pagans, just spreaders of very evil ideas. They're basically the black version of the alt-right. That's what these people are. They are racists. And recently, we had this shooting that took place in New Jersey. The two black Hebrew Israelites, two members of this cult, murdered 4 people. They shot a detective. They killed 3 people in a Jewish deli. These people are straight up evil, and they had quite a long shootout with the police. I think the shootout lasted for about an hour. It was a battle on the streets. And they barricaded themselves in this Jewish deli after they killed 2 Jewish people and an employee of theirs. Very, very sad story. But you see, this is the result of heretical beliefs. This is the result of racially fixated ideology. And we had a situation like this happen a few years ago. A bunch of cops were murdered in Dallas, and the shooter was a black supremacist who was also in the military, so he had military training, which gave him an advantage in his murdering of these police officers. And I remember in the beginning, people were saying, "Oh, he was he's a Muslim, and the shooter was a convert to Islam, and all this stuff." But then I actually did a bunch of research on him and found out that while he did have some time within the Nation of Islam, which, to all of you counter-jihadists out there, isn't real Islam. It's not. It's some weird morphed religion that consists of some Islamic beliefs, but it's intertwined with black supremacist ideology. And then, of course, you have all of this stuff about white people being aliens. It's not Islam. But, people went on with it because they want to push a narrative, because this particular narrative sells. This particular narrative garners a lot of attention. Oh, this guy who shot, 7 cops in Dallas, he was a Muslim. Oh, look, they're invading America, Sharia law. But the reality is that the guy who did that massacre in Dallas actually was a part of this sort of ideology. I think he was a part of the Kemet cult. These are basically black Hebrew Israelites, but they believe that because the Pharaoh was black, Osiris was black, and Isis, she was black also. These are the original gods of the black people before the Arabs and the Jews and the white man forced Christianity down our throats. And these are they're part of a cult called Kemet. And really, black Hebrew Israelites, Kemet, these guys are all the same. They're all about how the Egyptians was black. They was all black, man. And people didn't really want to talk about that aspect of that massacre. And there are some media outlets right now that are talking about the link, the ideological link of these killers, these murderers in New Jersey. But you see, people die when people believe in evil ideologies. People die. We can look at the black Hebrew Israelites and say, oh, look, they're just a bunch of clowns. And, it is pretty funny looking at them. And they can actually be quite entertaining, not because they're good people, but because they're such fools. And watching them just spit out the most historically inept stuff with such confidence is quite amusing. At the same time, though, it's quite disturbing. Why is it disturbing? Because here's the thing. The black Israelite types, they are not, it's an understatement to say that they are historically inept. These people are historically retarded. They are historically retarded. And what is so disturbing is that people can believe in such historical retardation with such confidence. They believe in this fantasy of how the Hamitic race, the black race, had all these the most advanced civilizations ever. And the pharaohs was black, and we was kings, and all this stuff. They can believe in all this stuff with such confidence. And when people believe in a fantasy, this is what happens. G.K. Chesterton talked about this. When people believe in a fantasy with such confidence, they want the fantasy to become a reality before their eyes. So these people, they have all these fantasies about black Hebrew Israelites and how the white man is Babylon and they rule it, everything, and we is all slaves and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we was kings in the beginning, and because we was kings and because we are above all people, then why is we not above all people? So they get guns and they kill people. So this is the reality of it. And people die when people believe in these sick ideologies. And it's really no different than the white supremacists. It's really no different than the Jewish supremacists. Racism is racism, and it always leads to bloodshed. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.